What a finish. What a man.
The drum roll finishes, and the target is hit.
And it comes on finals night, and it's a knockout
Rhian, Dirty Harrison! Van Velzen! Kirsty, Vinnikanen!
We're gonna find them, and I'm gonna fight for you. They better start hiding.
One more shot, one more opportunity, and she seals it.
Finds it with a third dart. Great to get that for the title.
She takes it, she wins it. It's Women's Week winner, Rhian O'Sullivan.
3-8 for Lisa Ashton. What a finish!
Shot on the second leg.
Now that's
Lisa
how you
Ashton.
take out a 138. Double 19. That
Sure.
is absolutely
And the man,
magnificent
Kirsty
for
Vinnikanen.
Kirsty Vinnikanen.
I'll climb the mountains for you. Tell me, 'cause I'm looking out for you.
It most certainly is game on indeed for the second session of the day here at the Modus Super Series. Group B is going to get underway in a few moments' time, and we see the two former Women's Week champions in action. Kirsty Vinnikanen looking to defend her crown on Saturday, while as Wales's Rhian O'Sullivan picked up the first title here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth at the back end of May last year. Well, fresh from playing duties into the commentary box, Trina Gulliver is with us once again this evening. We'll talk about your exploits in just a second, but first of all, your thoughts on this Group B, where both the former champions, Kirsty and Rhian, are in action this evening.
It's some group, isn't it? I mean, it's quality players there, and yeah, it's going to be really tight, I think, this group.
Well, let's have a chat about this afternoon. We'll talk about you in a second. Just want to have a quick chat on Vicky, because she won 5 from 5 on the opening day. From what you were able to see, and obviously playing her as well in that group, what would be your assessment of the way that she progressed through the day?
Well, she was very consistent through the day, you know, and she started off well, unfortunately, against me. But yeah, she played solid, really good.
In terms of yourself, we can have a look at the table now. 8 points to your name. I can imagine you're really pleased with the return overall.
Yeah, I am. You know, yesterday was an absolute disaster for me. I started off well on the Monday, and Tuesday was a slight decline, and then yesterday the wheels fell off. So to come back today and after a bit of a reset and start off to 4 out of 5 is, you know, it's a good start.
You must have felt the good stuff was really good this week, because there has been real spells, hasn't there, where the game is really there. I suppose, is it just about stringing it all together now?
Yeah, it's about getting it all to work all together at once, you know. It's like you said, I had spells of it, and but I couldn't get it together all at the same time, so that's something I've got to work on.
How did you hit that double 10?
I got no idea whatsoever. I couldn't see it. It was I'd blocked it, and I'd moved across the hockey and then back the other way, and I was thinking, well, I'm just going to have to launch this, and I could see just a tiny bit of it, and I was thinking, if this goes in, I'm done well.
Is it more a dart on feel then than anything else when you're throwing a dart like that? Just kind of muscle memory on where the target is?
Yeah, kind of. You kind of like gauge where it is, and you know, you just try and get the weight right and float it over, and hopefully it hits the target.
Well, let's have a look at the tournament bracket then. Gemma Hayter won Group A on Wednesday afternoon. We're going to watch Group B tonight. Paige Paulin third in the Group C proceedings. The way that she managed to come back from the setback of Group A must be really commended. It looked like, and you could probably tell us because you were in the practice room with Paige, that she went in with an attitude of glass half full and not defeated because of the way the first 3 days
No,
went.
I've been impressed with Paige today. She's you know, she's not let the rest of the week downer, you know, put herself on a downer, and yeah, she's come back fighting today.
Well, we've got 2 champions in action this evening, the only 2 Women's Week champions so far here. The first of them was Rhian O'Sullivan, beating Fallon Sherrock in the final to pick up the first Women's Week title, somebody that you have shared World Championship finals with in the past. What kind of competitor is Rhian O'Sullivan?
She's a great competitor. You know, she throws fast and furious, and she's a great champion. And she's a very proud Welsh lady, and loves to represent her country.
What's her greatest strength, do you think?
I don't know. You know, she's just got a lot of resilience, really. You know, she's been around for a long time. And so she's got a lot of experience as well. So, you know, she's got it all there, and she's very quick, and she always tells you as well when you're playing against her. She always tells you if you're playing against her, she'll say, if you hit a 180, she'll go, good darts. She'll always compliment you.
Kirsty Vinnikanen is the defending champion here. And you were kind of saying to me before we went live tonight, you feel like this is the best that we've ever seen from Kirsty in recent times.
Yeah, I've known Kirsty quite a long time, you know, going back playing World Cups together against each other. And I think that this is the best she's played over the years. And I think she's at the top of her game at the moment.
Well, she certainly played some good stuff. This was her lifting the Women's Week 2 title back in January, and you can see what it meant to her. And she is the bookmakers' favourite to go on and win this particular group. She's 7-4 on with the bookies. And it feels weird that we've gone through an entire conversation without talking about Lisa Ashton. And yesterday, it was much more like it from the Lancashire Rose. Yeah,
she did completely. She had quite a couple of days, and then yesterday she just raced ahead, and where my wheels fell off, I think she took over them and she jumped on. And but she played really well.
It's 18 plus, gambleaware.org if you're having a flutter on the Super Series, from one commentator in the studio that played this afternoon to another commentator who's playing tonight, because Laura Turner is involved in the first game of the evening session. What a heavyweight clash it is as she takes on Lisa Ashton, the 4 times champion of the world. Well, Laura is, a shrinking violet with a microphone in her hand, so we had to keep the interview short and sweet. But we had a chat with her earlier on this evening to talk about Women's Week 3, the runner-up last time, hoping to go one better. Laura, back for a third go here at Women's Week. It was the final last time. How much are you looking forward to this particular occasion?
Yeah, perhaps ask me tomorrow. I don't know. Still nervous, still really looking forward to it. But yeah, obviously laid down a little bit more of a marker last time. So I'd like to kind of at least make sure I get through to Saturday. But I'm in a really, really tough group. Thanks guys.
Is this becoming a more particularly at home experience for yourself now? You're becoming a bit more experienced with the stage environment now.
I think so. I'd like to think so. Obviously, you know, because when you play here, you get so many opportunities and you get so many chances to play up on the stage. It does feel very comfortable when you go up there. But obviously, darts is very much on the day, and you know, not even necessarily on the day. Match to match, it can differ. We see it all the time. So it's just about going up there and just full focus on every single match.
You mentioned the fact you made the final last time. Does that add pressure, or does that give an extra bit of inspiration as to knowing what you're capable of doing on that stage?
I think I took a lot from it, actually. It really did give me the confidence, because again, last time I was here, I thought, you know, I kind of came into it thinking didn't do so well the first time I was here, and just hoped really that, you know, just get a couple of wins and just build on it, and to make it through to Saturday, then make it all the way through to the final. Yeah, it gave me a lot of confidence. So I'm hoping that, you know, the same thing can happen. But it's all about the start, I think, especially in Group B, because it's shorter, it's a quicker race, you've got less games. So yes, I think the start's important.
Where is the darts with yourself at this present moment in time?
I'd like to think they're probably getting back to a better place. I've done better on the last couple of women's series, semi-final, quarter-finals. You know, the women's darts in general, I find as just, you know, it's getting better and better, which is fabulous. And the rest of us have got to keep up with those top players. So, you know, it's sometimes a bit hard and sometimes get those knocks back. But I'd like to think that, yeah, I feel confident. I feel like that they're coming back, and I'm really enjoying it, which is a massive part of darts.
So is this week kind of perhaps a bit of a springboard for yourself? Obviously, the next set of women's series is massive with the race to the match play, and you're kind of around the periphery of that with a couple of good weekends. So does it feel like this is the place where you think, if I can play well here, this could then actually really launch my season?
I hope so. Yeah, absolutely. And not even a springboard. I think this, to be able to pick up a title here at the Modus Super Series, we hear it with the guys that come along here week on, week out, and it's a massive achievement in itself, actually. So just to pick up the title would be great. But again, what confidence that can bring and what that can lead to, who knows? But again, I think goal number one, just get into Saturday. That's the main thing for me.
Wish you all the best, Laura. Good luck.
Thank you.
Goal number one, making it into Saturday for Laura Turner here at the Modus Super Series. And both the players in this opening match of the evening session rather colour coordinated, both in purple, the stage in purple. Very much got the memo, did this pair. Laura Turner and Lisa Ashton will kick off the night's action here at the Live Lounge Reports of one of 10 games that we're going to be broadcasting live to you tonight here on Pluto TV. Laura joining us for a third consecutive appearance at Women's Week, and Group B was where it worked for her last time. Got out of that and got all the way to the final, and she will be hoping that this time will be the time where she can finally put things right. As for Lisa Ashton, perhaps a surprise she's never lifted a title in this building, playing in her second Women's Week, the 54-year-old from Bolton, 4 times the champion of the world, and we've got a 10-time world champion alongside me here in the commentary box this evening. It's a very good evening to Trina Gulliver. Hi, Trina.
Hello, Henry. Looking forward to this tonight. And this should prove to be a very interesting opening game.
George Baker, the referee in charge of all of the action on this Thursday night, as he was this afternoon. And his first task is to call forward Laura Turner to the board to get the night's action underway. For Laura, she called it an opportunity, and not just a springboard to the season, but saying that this, a title in itself, is something which bestows a lot of prestige 30. And something which should be quite high up in the CV if she was able to go one better on Saturday.
Yeah, well, I'm sure she'll be very much trying. A bit of a surprise
41 result
for her last time, to be fair. She'd be the first one to admit that. But, yeah, she played some cracking darts.
180!
And there's the first 180 for Lisa Ashton.
And with her scoring power, you do not expect it to be the last. And in terms of her stats in Group A, it really was the scoring prowess which gave her a lot of opportunities. Over the 3 days, an average of 78.95, but that was twinned with 28% when it came to the finishing. So the scoring really did do damage, just like it's doing in this opening leg. She's left herself first to a finish against the throw, but Turner will be hoping to be in a better position upon her return.
Yeah, Lisa, very much a power scorer.
81, Lisa Ukai, 151. left.
Well, she leaves herself 32 after 12. So 114 now for Laura. Well, it can't finish now. So looking to leave it handy and hope that she gets a chance.
82, Lisa Ukai, 32.
So a double 16 for Ashton to get an opening leg break.
Game shot in
no
the first
mistake.
leg, Lisa
13
Ashton.
data for the Lancashire Rose to get this one underway. And if you have just joined us for the first time this week, slight tweak in format in comparison to regulation Super Series weeks, playing over the best of 5 legs. So first of 3 will win you the games this week, which makes the break of throw that Lisa Ashton's got there in the first leg almost count for double.
Yeah, exactly that. And off to a great start.
38.
Very impressive first leg there from Lisa.
Well, you, like Lisa, played in both
60.
The main Super Series, and you've also played in Specials Week. So the format is different, first of all, compared to first to three. What's the biggest striking difference playing this shorter format compared to the best of seven that we usually play?
81.
Well, there's no room for error. I mean, the seven is short enough as it is, but to play the five, there's, you know,
58.
you've got to be there right from the start. There's no room for error.
Is it almost then playing no mistake darts? You almost feel like if you make that one mistake, it could be game over as soon as it started, type thing.
Yeah, it's exactly that. And the short format
140.
puts the pressure on. You know, it puts the pressure on you getting that good start. And yeah, it's essential.
100.
Well, Lisa Ashton is doing exactly that. Has had a couple of high 90s averages over the course of the week. Best stuff has been on a par with everybody else, but on Monday and Tuesday it was just finding that consistent level, which was a
45.
nagging concern for the Lancashire Rose. But averaging here, as we approach the end of the second leg, just over 98 and change. 13 data to win leg one.
55.
And going about her business nicely enough on throw here in leg two.
Well, Laura looking to pressure this 128.
100.
When Lisa returns.
128. 54 scored.
74 left. Double 10.
108. Laura, you acquire 97.
Well, that grazed the wire, but it's given Laura Turner an opportunity to level up and get the break back as she can find this 97. Not to be on this occasion. So Ashton for 2-0 lead. Look at a double 10.
Double 5 now. Can she find it with the last
10.
start? She can't. So Laura with the opportunity now to take out tops, to level the match, and a break of throw. And she finds it with her first start. So it's 1-1. Laura returning the favour there to Lisa.
It's Laura to throw first.
Breaking her throw.
And I suppose what we said at the beginning of the game is kind of ringing true for Lisa Ashton. The scoring hasn't been an issue at all, but opportunities missed there to open up a 2-0 lead, and she'll be hoping it doesn't come back to cost her.
55.
Yeah, she's done all the hard work in the first leg, and then unfortunately for her, it
81.
Laura bounced back.
Well, I think Lisa Ashton will be a little bit disappointed that she's not playing Paige Pauling today, because that's when Lisa Ashton has been playing her best darts, when she has been taking on Paige over the course of the week. A 97.2 average in their first meeting on Monday. That was then coupled up with another high average, 93.94 in their second meeting of the week. That included the 138 checkout. But yesterday, it was far more consistent across the board. Got off to that quick 3-0 win against Gemma Hayter with an average of just under 88.5. The doubling much better as well. 3 from 7. And she never really let off on that particular level since. It was a far more consistent day, which yielded 5 victories out of 5. And it looks like she's got out the gate very quickly here.
$53.
So Lisa in for a chance here to leave it handy. A 140 would leave her tops, and she finds that.
140.
Not for the first time. Tops left after 12 darts for Lisa Ashton in a leg. And that scoring prowess is very much there.
22.
And it's just
Lisa,
outpowering Laura Turner at this present moment in time. 2 10s.
And
then finds a double 5 last dart in hand. There could have been a temptation, or some players at least would have been tempted possibly to have bust the score there if they weren't feeling too confident. But Lisa persevered, she pinned the target, and now has the darts to win the match.
Yeah, another break of throw there.
100.
So gets herself back into the match and in a prime position.
She's one of those players, Lisa, isn't she, that when she plays at her best, I can imagine it's a little bit bamboozling because of the pace and because of the accuracy that she plays at. I can imagine your brain can be left fried when she's rattling off leg after leg after
100.
leg.
Yeah, it can do, and you know, she does throw at pace, and you know, she approaches the hockey not very fast. Actually, she stands back and approaches the hockey, so she's not
60.
quick to the hockey, but her actual throw is very quick.
You say she's the quickest player of the top echelon of female
180.
dart players.
Rhian's very quick as well, so you know, I think it's probably between them two, to be fair.
Well, this has been quick fire brilliance, and Laura Turner looking to
140.
get in
She's
the
got
maximum action, but
121.
unable to do so. Ashton 121 to get the job done, and to get the job done brilliantly, but she's not going to do it with a ton topper. Not that she needed to be lured into the temptation of going for the bullseye at the back
57.
end of that visit there.
No, she got a bit of time if she chose to, but Laura now really needs to find that treble 20. Another treble would be great.
85. Lisa acquires 64.
So Lisa now with a chance of this 64. So 88 now for the match. And finds it with a third dart.
Lisa Ashton.
And that's a super start for Lisa Ashton. A 3-1 win over Laura Turner. A 93.47 average for Lisa. 81.20 for Laura. 2 180s from Lisa Ashton. And what a great result. 3-1 victory. Next game up is Lorraine Winstanley and Kirsty Vinnikanen.
Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Lewandowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor?
One more time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series champion
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series. Before the break, Lisa Ashton got out the gate impressively with a 3-1 victory against Laura Turner. Average of 93.5 in that particular contest. 3 out of 10 on the doubles, couple of 180s in there. A pretty much picture-perfect performance for the Lancashire Rose to get her night's action underway. Next up for us, Kirsty Vinnikanen, the defending Women's Week champion, takes on Lorraine Winstanley, back for a third crack at the title. She made it through to the Saturday night in her previous appearance, got all the way through to the final 4 before being beaten by 3-2 to Laura Turner, who we've already seen lose this evening. Well, let's find out a little bit more then about both players. Lorraine Winstanley, former World Championship finalist from Buxton, aged 49, finalist in the previous Women's Week, and does a lot of work outside of her playing capacities, working in the academy structures with the manufacturer that she works for. Up against Kirsty Vinnikanen, the 52-year-old, the Women's Week 2 champion from Finland. I'll be honest with you, I was having to think about pronouncing that and it didn't quite work out. But I do have a story about where Kirsty lives. Pietsamaki is where she lives. I had it phonetically written, but decided to bail out when I needed to. Anyway, that's one for the outtake bingo at the end of the year. This is game number 2 of the night. And for Lorraine Winstanley, she was saying to me earlier on this evening that because of her capacities in other ways, and she does great work with the academy system and bringing young people through, that opportunities to play don't happen very often, that the women's series is pretty much, alongside this, all she does play. So it'd be interesting to see how she gets along tonight.
Yeah, she's obviously choosing, or having to anyway, pick out what she does and, prioritise her job, obviously, with target. So and she's concentrating on the PDC Women's Series, and, that's fair enough. But she's not playing as much starts as everybody else, really. So be interesting to see how she gets on this evening.
100.
However, saying that, she's had some good runs in the PDC events of late, so we shall see.
It's interesting because I was having a conversation with Jared Cole a few weeks ago. Obviously, he works here in a capacity as a spotter at the Super Series on top of his playing capacities, and he was saying as much as he tries, it's finding that right balance, which sometimes isn't the easiest thing to strike, and sometimes you've got to prioritise one over the other. One thing can be to the detriment of another thing.
Yeah, he's absolutely right, and that's exactly what you have to do. You can't give 100% to everything.
83.
But Lorraine is certainly trying to get that mix and get that balance right. And she was talking about the pride that she has with the job that she does running that academy system. But I tell you what, the early indications are that the practice has definitely been put in for this, because she's left herself on tops after 12 to take out the opening leg.
$60. Lorraine, you require 40.
So tops now for Lorraine to take the first leg.
Game
And takes it with a first start.
Winstanley.
And that's a hold of throw.
Well, what a start
Second leg is Kirsty to throw
to the night
first.
for Lorraine Winstanley. Just like Lisa Ashton in her opening game against Laura Turner. Out the tracks quickly, a 13-darter to get things underway. And for Kirsty, I suppose as well, the way things finished in Group A, she had control of the group with a couple of games to go, lost those couple of matches and was pipped at the post by Gemma Hayter. So I suppose the task from yesterday afternoon coming into tonight is just try and forget about what happened and come back into things with a fresh perspective.
Yeah, she was absolutely gutted. It was the last shootout of the day as well, and yeah, she was gutted to come away with that loss. And we'd been previously
55.
talking, actually, saying that she's going to be sat on the beach having an ice cream for the next 2 days, but it didn't occur, I'm afraid.
In fairness, she could have gone and got an ice cream during the day. It was a 10 o'clock start.
82.
Well, that's true, and she may have.
Beautiful day here in Portsmouth, and a very hot day as well, which means that the conditions on stage are going to be very warm for the players as well. You were obviously playing this afternoon. Was there a feeling that managing the heat was one of the things that the players had to do?
Yeah, I found it quite warm up there, and you know, on a couple of occasions my dart slipped and didn't find the right target. But yeah, I'm sure it's as hot up there tonight as it was this afternoon.
Well, if anything, it's probably going to be warmer on the stage tonight because the lights have been left on between. So the fact that there's been a lot of action in here means that the temperature is just going to rise. It's a little bit like playing in arenas like the Winter Gardens. I suppose for yourself, I know the tournament took place in winter, but the Lakeside, where if you play the night session after an afternoon session, because everybody's been in the building all day, naturally there's no way for the air to escape. So it just gets warmer and warmer as the day goes along. Yeah,
exactly. And like you say, the amount of heat that the lights generate is it's very intense as well. So yeah, it's hot up there.
It's just one of those things that, regardless of where you play, you just got to adapt to. And perhaps the player that adapts to that best tonight could be the one that yields the most success.
Well, Kirsty looking favourite for this leg at the moment.
100. Kirsty acquire 142.
We all know how much that can change. So 142 now for Kirsty. Well, can't be done this time, so be looking to set it up.
$60.
Leaves herself on a 2-darter upon her return. Winstanley just looking to apply as much pressure as possible.
Just taking her time, making a choice.
Kirsty acquire 82.
Doesn't leave herself a finish. And she's just realised that. So Kirsty will come back if she doesn't take this out now.
Double 10 to level proceedings up. Double 10 got
second leg.
a level we are one apiece. And luckily for Lorraine Winstanley, because Kirsty took it out, it's not something that's going to be played on repeat at the academy. I suppose that's the downside of still actively playing whilst doing things like that, because if anything does happen, whether it be good or in most cases if things are going a little bit wrong, it's something that you'll never ever be able to hear the end of.
No, I'm sure that there'll be a few texts when she gets back and finishes tonight. What was you doing?
85.
Why did you go that way? But mistakes happen, and it's about how you get over them. So
140.
Well, she seems to have put that behind her.
Maybe that's going to be part 1 of the next module. But this has been a really positive start from both players. And Rhian, particularly the scoring prowess that she's been able to exude in the opening 2.5 legs of this contest. 3 2-treble scores, 3 1-treble scores so far. Constantly finding at least a treble a visit. And that's just going to afford her more opportunities than her Finnish opponent at this present moment in time.
Yeah, Lorraine averaging just above 89 at the moment.
26. Lorraine, you're
so looking good there. Poor visit there from Kirsty. So 81 left. The target was the treble 19, but
89.
Not to be found.
But luckily for Lorraine, plenty of time on her side. But Kirsty We'll be hoping that a couple of whispers in this leg will turn into something much louder of a shout in terms of her hopes of winning it.
Lorraine, you require 52.
And so Winstanley will come back for 52 to move within a leg of victory. Double top. Well, the two legs she's won, she has won very well. A 13 darter followed by a 14 darter. And she finds herself 2-1 in front and 1 away from avenging that semi-final defeat to Kirsty Vinnikanen last time out here at the Live Lounge.
Yeah, super darts here from Lorraine Winstanley. Taking every opportunity that's put before her.
135.
2 from 2 on the doubles as well. Everything about this performance thus far from her, she will be really, really pleased with.
81.
I almost feel like because of the other players in the group, Lorraine's almost been like the player that's not been forgotten, but kind of been on the periphery a little bit in a lot of people's thinking.
60.
See Kirsty and Rhian, former winners. We know what Lisa can do. Laura made the final last time out. So I suppose to a certain extent, Lorraine can just go under the radar a little bit. Yeah,
I guess so. And yeah, she's not to be taken for granted, though. You know, she's a class player, and we're seeing that here.
Now, would you like to know a fun fact about where Kirsty lives?
Go on, then.
60.
So, Kirsty's hometown of Pietsamaki got there in the end. Has a coat of arms, like most places do. Now, the coat of arms is
85.
A stick with flight. Basically, it looks like 3 wooden darts. The coat of arms for Pietsamaki. And maybe it's just fitting that one of their most famous people turns out to be a very, very good dart player.
140.
That's bizarre, that is. That is very bizarre.
Me and Trina were aimlessly Googling earlier on this evening and then just came across that image and thought you couldn't make things like that up.
So 106 now for Kirsty. Well, the shot's still on. She needs a treble 17 though for the bullseye. She might not go for it. As Lorraine way back on 233 and decides
66.
to just set it up.
Yeah, sense and sensibility just kicked in there for Kirsty, not wanting to leave herself in a bit of a mess unduly.
30.
Well, we haven't seen a missed start at a double yet in this contest. Lorraine 2 from 2, Kirsty 1 from 1. Is that trend going to continue here? Not this time.
So double 10 now. Kirsty to level the match.
30.
She can't find it, but she will be back. There's Lorraine back on 203. Looking to pressurise, put some pressure on.
83.
Double 5.
Kirsty, you acquire 10.
She does leave herself a finish, but will she get chance?
2 5s for 2-2 and a first last leg decider of the night. Double 2, last dart in hand.
Six.
She took her time there.
120.
Didn't pay off. So Lorraine, a shot at this 120. That's a great start. 20 now for tops for a 3-1 victory.
80.
Just above the wire. A match start has come and gone for Lorraine Winstanley, but are we heading all the way? Double 1. 1 left.
Game
and
shot
found.
There. Kirsty Vinnikanen.
2-2. We head the distance for the first time tonight.
Fifth and final leg. It's Lorraine to throw first. Game on.
Well, technically speaking, Lorraine favourite for this as she has the darts in this leg. But we see time and time again, that's not always the case.
60.
Lorraine has been good on throw, 13 and 14 darters with the darts in her hand, but her last leg decides a completely different quantity altogether. It's just one of those situations where the fact that Kirsty's played all week, and as we know, Lorraine isn't playing as much as others, where that could actually come into play a little bit.
Yeah, indeed it could. You know, Kirsty's got the match practice up there, and she's comfortable with the stage, and that could play a big part.
Get the sense that the next 6 darts could be key, because that 45 has just allowed Lorraine to re-establish the authority on throw.
Yeah, and the averages at the moment, there's actually 10 points between them, so that tells a story in itself.
81.
There's advantage Winstanley, but a big score here for Kirsty would make things interesting. Definitely needs at least a treble.
60.
Has the initiative now been handed to Lorraine Winstanley? 6 starts here from 220 to get her week up and running with a win.
50.
Well, doesn't make the same mistake as in the previous leg. Leaves herself a finish. The big fish.
Well, if you're going to win it, why don't you win it with a bit of style, Lorraine?
100. Lorraine, you acquire 170.
Some way to round it off. But it's not to be on this occasion. But Kirsty Vinnikanen herself is going to need a showstopper to win this contest.
40.
She does have the highest finish of the week, the 155, which she got on Tuesday. Can she trump that by 1 here?
Well, the shot's not on now. So she'd love a treble 20 now to put the pressure on the 130 for Lorraine.
60.
Can't find
Lorraine, you
it.
acquire 130.
And so Winstanley here looking at 130 to get the job done. Treble leaves the ball, but it's a blocked target. As you could see with dart 2 ricocheting off the barrel of dart 1. And so
94.
Vinnikanen here coming back for 96, but because of that last dart, it's a 96 that perhaps has to go.
Treble 20. She'll stay there. Can't find the treble 20, so all she can do is
56.
set it up
Lorraine, you
and
acquire
hope
36.
that she gets a chance to return. With Lorraine on 36, double 18.
Game shot.
It is a
Lorraine
win
Winstanley.
for Lorraine to kick things off in Group B. And at times, she was sparkling, she was brilliant, she was showing some of her best against Kirsty Vinnikanen, the defending champion, for whom now is on a losing streak of 3. Winstanley with a 3-2 victory. The scoring power at times was incredible. The finishing was spectacular. And she has beaten Kirsty Vinnikanen by 3 legs to 2. Next up, the Women's Week 1 champion, Rhian O'Sullivan, against Laura Turner.
$54. Charlie McGuire, 164. $44. $32. Charlie required 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls at this. Needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score. Leaves himself on a 2-darter.
$26. Charlie, you
Time on his
require
side
60.
to become back-to-back singles champion.
$40.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts. But he'll be coming back.
It's a moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the
81.
stage,
Charlie,
approaching the
required
Oki with a
20.
chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone.
Georgia
I think
require
he's gone to
118.
bust it, maybe. The first title he won, he wanted 20. He went 6-7-7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust, and
39.
on that
Charlie,
situation there, George
require
Scaife wasn't even
9.
able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia requires
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
$59. Charlie,
Threw
you
the entire
require
body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
Georgia require 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy.
Go
Couldn't get the job
it.
done.
Got in the match! And the Red Dragon
George
Modus
Scaife.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Scaife!
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series. Before the break, Lorraine Winstanley got the better of Kirsty Vinnikanen by 3 legs to 2. Some really good darts from Lorraine in that one. A couple of 5-visit legs in and amongst the shouting to get the better of the fin in the last leg decider. Game 3 sees the Women's Week 1 champion Rhian O'Sullivan in action. She takes on Laura Turner, who we've already seen tonight, played well against Lisa Ashton, but ran into the Lancashire Rose at the top of her game, falling to a 3-1 defeat. But next up for us, Rhian O'Sullivan, the 44-year-old from Llanelli in Wales, the first ever winner of a Women's Week here at the Super Series, twice a Women's World Championship finalist, up against Laura Turner, runner-up in Women's Week 2 here, looking to go one better this time around. From Byfleet in Surrey, she is hoping to hurry away towards a Saturday night showpiece. I'm alongside the 10-time world champion Trina Gulliver in the commentary box tonight, and Rhian O'Sullivan might have shuddered at the thought of you being in the building this evening if past performances and past
First
form
leg
in
is Rhian to the
world
right
championships or anything to
Game
go
on.
by. Just the couple of world finals which you denied her a title in.
Yeah, both runner-up
85.
on both occasions. She was in 2010 and 2011 to me. But she played some brilliant darts, and you know, she's a
22.
tough competitor, is Rhian. And you know, it's been around a long time. Throws very quick.
100.
Probably at the same pace almost as Lisa, I would say. Them two are definitely the quickest.
Is Rhian one of those players that on the circuit just commands respect because of what she's done and
45.
because of how long she's done it?
She's a feared player, definitely. You know, everybody knows that she can play, and she's a power scorer as
78.
well. So, yeah, very much respected on the circuit.
Rhian's performances in the first Women's Week gave her an invitation to the main Super Series. Well, I think she'll be the first to admit it didn't quite go to plan. I
125.
don't think really the the timing of the invite, or the time in which she played anyway, kind of matched well for her. We saw her play
60.
a lot better at the Lakeside in December, and I'll be hoping to rediscover that Modus touch here over the next couple of days.
Well, she's on a good start.
60.
No, that's great darts there from Rhian. Leaves herself 44. Looking favourite for the first leg of the match.
100.
Great pick off for the last there for Laura to leave herself on a finish. So O'Sullivan looking at 44. Looking at double 16.
12.
Doesn't go,
Laura,
but if Turner's going to take out leg one, she's going to need to find something out of the top draw. And the 149 is on. Not anymore, and so O'Sullivan back for double 16.
97. Rhian, you acquire 32.
So double 16 for Rhian.
Game
Takes
shot
it
the
with a
first
second
leg, Rhian
dart.
O'Sullivan.
Goes 1-0 ahead in this contest.
Second leg is Laura to throw first.
Well,
Game
Rhian
on.
looking to be one of two O'Sullivans to taste sporting success over the course of this weekend. Bonnie O'Sullivan looking for an 8th Crucible title in Sheffield,
100.
and Rhian looking for a 2nd Super Series title here in Portsmouth.
No relation, by the way.
60.
However, they are both very quick and very good at their disciplines. Could be an idea for a Super Series challenge. Darts meets
41.
snooker. Maybe get some dart players to play snooker and some snooker players to play some darts.
You'd be surprised how many dart players can play
41.
pool or snooker, and vice versa as well, because it originates from the pub, doesn't it? So, yeah, misspent youth.
Well, I know Richie Howson's a very handy snooker player. I think he's played some amateur events, hasn't
41.
He has, and I do believe the last one he took part in, he was runner-up. He played brilliantly.
123.
Of the snooker players, I believe Mark Williams is meant to be a dab hand at darts.
Wouldn't surprise me in the least.
Well, Laura, as we know, a person of
100.
many talents, has spent many an hour sat in this commentary box, but I also get the feeling that she wants to do some things on the hockey which
140.
people remember, and I just get the feeling that she wants to be known as more than just a commentator, somebody that in her own right plays good darts and wins big titles.
Well, she's also a very good singer.
85. Rhian, you acquire 137.
She can belt out a tune.
You know, Sullivan belt out a big finish here.
77.
Looking at 137. Not to be any more.
97.
And so Turner here, 134 to level this game up at one apiece. And if she doesn't take it, O'Sullivan's back for tops for 2-0.
$54. Rhian, you acquire 40.
So tops now for Rhian.
Game
For a
shot second
2-0
leg,
lead.
Rhian O'Sullivan.
Takes that with her first start.
That's for
Third
Laura
leg is
Turner.
Rhian
She
to
must be
throw
thinking,
first.
what have I
Game
done
up.
wrong this evening? Because she's staring down the barrel of 2 defeats from 2, and she's played far from poorly thus far.
20.
It's a bit unlucky, but 2 bounce outs there from Rhian. So Laura having a bit of a giggle. Looking to punish.
101.
Well, picks off 2 trebles.
And the way Rhian throws the darts is a real force,
60.
so any kind of ricochet or any kind of bounce out will be felt thunderously as it comes out of the board.
Laura's throw is a follow through, whereas Rhian's it tends to be a bit of a flick or a push even.
60.
As Laura, as you see, is a bit more of an aimer of the dart. The stance is pretty much perfect. The elbow is pretty much everywhere you'd expect it to be at that 90-degree angle, that kind of right angle,
45.
that L-type shape that you would expect.
Yeah, very solid stance as well. As is Rhi's, but
43.
more of a flick. Doesn't completely follow through with her throw. Look at that, that's solid, that is. That stance, hardly any movement
41.
at all in the upper body.
Literally, where that arm is set as she pulls the dart back, you could put a piece of string to
60.
the floor and it'd be in a straight line.
And Laura standing centre of the hockey as well.
45.
They're two players that just have got the fundamentals perfect, haven't they?
Rhian standing a little bit to the right on the hockey.
100.
Well, we have first to finish, but Laura will feel like there's still room for
60.
manoeuvre in the
Rhian,
leg,
you've
but
got
that 60
158.
there has perhaps dealt those prospects a bit of a blow. And 6 darts Rhian will field from here from 158 to
94.
complete a
Laura, you've
3-0
got
victory.
149.
She finds a great dart there with the last dart and that treble 18. And the shot for Laura is no longer on. So Rhian will come
60.
back for the
Rhian, you've got
64 for the match.
To complete a comprehensive 3-0 victory, double 8.
48.
But they both
Laura, you
graze the
require
wire.
89.
So a chance now for Laura to get a leg on the board. Can she take her opportunity? Well, so it'd be 20 now, or the treble 20 for the bullseye.
64.
Just
Rhian, you
outside.
require 16.
So Rhian, double 8 for the match.
No score.
Oh, right on the wire. So again, Laura,
you
a
require
chance
25.
at 25.
An opportunity to get herself back on the board. Well, that wasn't intentional, but it could be a Freudian slip, which pays off for Laura Turner.
14.
But inside on the double 11.
Rhian, you require
And so
16.
Sullivan is back for double 8 to get the job done, to seal a comprehensive win, a 3-0 win. She hasn't played here since picking up
12.
the Women's Week Quad title, but she's not going to
Laura, you
return
require
into the winners
11.
enclosure just yet.
Well, doubles proving to be a bit of an issue. So double 4 now for Laura to take her first leg of this match.
3.
But she can't find it, so Rhian gets another
Rhian,
chance
you
at
require
this.
4.
5 opportunities have come and gone, and so O'Sullivan looking at
Game
double
start,
2,
and the match,
and eventually
Rhian
gets the
O'Sullivan.
double 2, which seals a 3-0 win. And upon her return to the live lounge stage, the Women's Week 1 champion, Rhian O'Sullivan, is into the winners enclosure. For Laura Turner, 5 missed darts and a double. That was the undoing for her. 2 defeats and 2 to kickstart her night, but for Rhian O'Sullivan, the perfect start to proceedings. A 3-0 success. Coming up after the break, we're going to see Lisa Ashton and Lorraine Winstanley go head-to-head. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series. Before the break, Rhian O'Sullivan picked up her first win in her first match of the night. A 3-0 success against Laura Turner, who's played 2, lost 2 so far here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Game number 4 is a meeting between Lisa Ashton and Lorraine Winstanley. For both players, they've already got a win under their belts tonight and looking to make it 2 wins out of 2 here and to assert the early authority upon proceedings in this Group B table. Lisa put in the performance of the night in her first match, a 3-1 success against Laura Turner, who, if the truth be told, didn't really do much wrong, but, well, the only thing she did wrong was play against Lisa Ashton in that kind of form. But for Lorraine, there were spells in that game where she was punting in a couple of 5-visit legs and looked in very good nick, it has to be said.
Yes, indeed, and
96.
managed to get over the line in the end, but Kirsty didn't manage to pull the match back. Go to the decider.
60.
Lisa had a 93 plus average in her
41.
first match. Opening proceedings with a fantastic average. Should be looking to see what she can do from here.
96.
Lorraine, her greatest day was in 2017, picking up the World Masters title, beat Corinne Hammond
100
in the final by 5 legs to 2. Corinne had a great year that year, made the World Championship final as well at the Lakeside in the January.
100.
Of course, a commentary colleague of ours
125.
once upon a time here at the Live Lounge. Ashton, first to finish in this opening leg. Looking at 139 to move into a 1-0 lead.
140.
Playing imperiously, but Lorraine Winstanley is keeping tabs.
Treble 20 required for tops.
Lorraine, you require 105.
Will she be coming back for it though? Lorraine on 105. Hits the treble 15, so tops now.
85. Lisa, you require 40.
An opportunity missed for a tub plus out. What could Ashton make of the tops?
No score.
Nothing
Lorraine,
of
you
it.
require
And so
20.
Winstanley has a break chance. 3 in hand this time.
Double 10. Moves across the hockey. Bounces off the barrel, but the wrong side.
No score.
And again.
Lisa, you require 40.
So the opportunity now for Lisa to take this first leg.
Game shot in the first
Does
leg.
so with
Lisa
her second
Ashton.
dart.
Well, Lisa Ashton doesn't usually need to be presented second opportunities
leg
to
is
get
Lorraine to
legs
throw
one, and that's
first.
another
Game
example of that. Took to her 5th attempt, but it doesn't matter. She finds herself a leg to the good. As I say, the winner of this game will move on to 4 points in the group. They will be in a very healthy position,
60.
regardless of what happens in the next match at the halfway stage of the evening's proceedings.
100.
That's the first dart, isn't it, for Lorraine?
That's the second dart as well. Can she fill it up? She does. 180 for Lorraine Winstanley.
60.
Her scoring at times tonight has been as good as anybody at any point this week. When she gets going, she is a very, very difficult player to try and dislodge.
Well, and backs it up as well with a 140 there as well. leaving herself on 121. Lisa
60. Lorraine, you require 121.
way back on 281. So opportunity here for Lorraine to level the match. Just set it up
97.
and does so very nicely.
Double 12 left after 12. And that's the third time she's done that tonight, Lorraine Winstanley.
180.
But how do you
Lorraine,
fight
require
fire?
24.
Well, you fight it with fire.
Game shot in the second
Wow,
leg.
that's
Lorraine
game shot
Winstanley.
there. First start for Lorraine Winstanley and
The
levels the
Lisa
match.
to throw first. Game on.
All going to throw at the moment.
100.
Now, what a high quality, high caliber evening of darts we're enjoying. Those are the averages after a couple of legs. There is a 10-point disparity, but I suppose as far as Lisa's concerned, she's got the darts in the odd-numbered
93.
leg, so she just carries on doing her business on throw. It's irrespective what Lorraine does in the background.
Absolutely, and with darts like that,
180.
averages are soon to shoot up. So great game here from the girls.
Really enjoyable contest. And you could just tell these are two players that are
98.
playing towards the peak of their powers at this present moment in time.
135.
Well, Lisa powering ahead in this leg. Leaving herself 86. After 9.
60. Lisa, you require 86.
To say, pound for pound, both players produced at the same time. It's been the highest quality game that we've seen so far this week. Ashton looking at the treble 14 there to give herself a dart at tops.
46.
She is going to leave that target herself after a dozen darts, after the Winstanley 13 darts of the previous leg to re-establish her lead.
100. Lisa, you require 40.
So tops now for Lisa. Double 10.
20. Lorraine, you require 150.
So Lorraine, a chance at 150. Treble 20, the target. Can't be done now, just slips into the treble 1. So Lisa will be back for the double 10.
Yeah. 80. Lisa, you require 20.
So Ashton here looking at double 10 to move 2-1 to the good, up for fives. Just underneath, and so Winstanley will get an opportunity to get the break here. She needs one at some point to win the contest, and if she can get it now, she'll have the darts in the next to wrap it up. She's going to get 2 at double 8.
Game
Well,
shot
what a
of the
contest
leg.
this
Lorraine
is becoming.
Winstanley.
And Lorraine Winstanley has form about being involved in thrilling matches on this particular
Fourth leg,
stage.
it's
She was
Lorraine to throw
involved in a
first. Game on.
thrilling game against Fallon Sherrick in the first Women's Week. Sherrick averaged 104.86. Lorraine Winstanley had an average of 98.43. Unfortunately for Lorraine, she found herself on the
100.
wrong end of a 3-0 scoreline against the Queen of the Palace.
80.
As for Lisa Ashton, the telling point in this game is the 1 from 10 on the doubles. The scoring, well, they both kind of
22.
kept pace with one another over the course of the contest, but the telling difference is Lorraine Winstanley's been able to pick apart her opportunities a bit better than Lisa
45.
Ashton has done.
Averages falling slightly, but still a very good match from these girls.
43. 100. 40.
Bit of a hit and miss leg, this one.
85.
No finish for Lisa. So Lorraine looking for a couple of trebles here to give herself a shot at a finish, but not to be this time.
And so Ashton here looking to return the favour with the break back.
85.
She's left herself on 106. Realistically, you feel like Lorraine's going to have to find a couple of trebles here to keep herself competitive in this leg.
Desperately needs one.
95. Lisa, you require 106.
Well, it does leave herself a finish.
$58. Lorraine, you require 160.
And she will get a chance at it. So 2 treble 20s for tops. Can't be done. So looking to set it up
83.
to maybe have
48.
the opportunity.
So to take us all the way, it's double 16.
Game shot in the fourth
No
leg,
mistake.
Lisa Ashton.
And we'll head to another last leg decider. The second in 4 games, and the second that Lorraine Winstanley's been involved in.
Game up.
She got the better of Kirsty Vinnikanen by a 3-2 scoreline. And the winner of this leg will move on to 4 points, move to the top of the group. And Lisa Ashton, with her third max of the match, has put the task upon Lorraine Winstanley.
Lisa throwing
43.
on the pressure there.
$100.
Finding the treble with the last start as well. Super leg.
Ashton finding the right things at the right time.
60.
Putting her foot on the gas as the finishing line and the checkered flag approaches.
100.
Again, finding the treble 20 with her last start.
$100. Lisa, you require 121.
So 1-2-1 now for Lisa. Well, treble 17 would have been the shot for
57.
ball, but she may not have gone for it. There's Lorraine back on 298. So really looking now to pressure this 64.
121. Lisa, you require 64.
Doesn't leave herself a finish. So Lisa, chance, there's 64 for the match. Double 16.
48.
Not to be this time, but she has got time to her aid. Lorraine can only hit big and then hope there's going to be 3 more misses on the Lancashire roads. It's a very treacherous game to play.
44.
But she's having to roll the dice.
59.
She is
Lisa, you
hoping
require 16.
that Ashton can miss 3 more here. But the
Games are
Lancashire
unmatched.
Rose
Lisa
pins with
Ashton.
aplomb, and she moves on to 4 points. The perfect start for the 4-time world champion. 4 points to her name as she gets the better of Lorraine Winstanley in a corker of a match by 3 legs to 2. Some superb darts on show, but it was Lisa Ashton that was just able to hold her nerve as the finishing line approached. That the tail of the tape. Ashton in truth outscored Lorraine Winstanley for large sways. 3 180s in that one, and that gave her breathing room, missing 10 at a double. Next up, Kirsty Vinnikanen against Rhian O'Sullivan. Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Labanowski! Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor.
Time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler! These are the teams for the first ever international pairs here at the Super Series. Scotland will be represented by John Henderson and Robert Thornton. Belgium by Brian Oman and Shanti van den Berg. Kenya by Peter Achuri and Manpreet Kelsey. Gibraltar by Craig Galliano and Justin Hewitt. England by Mervyn King and Steve West. And the Dutch, Jimmy van Schie and Danny van Tripe. Group B, we're going to see David Schlichting back on the Super Series stage, representing there the Republic of Ireland, Shane McGirt, the reigning WDF World Champion, alongside John O'Shea. And, well, what are we going to see when Richie Burnett's on the stage, representing Wales alongside Kurt Parry? Lucas Wachlowski will be back here at the Live Lounge. He played well on his Super Series debut. He's going to partner up with Sebastian Steyer to represent Poland. Northern Ireland with Neil Duff as their skipper alongside Richard McKee. And Jacques Clabre back at the Super Series for the first time since 2022. He's going to be representing France alongside Nico Foulier. And the action will get underway from 9:30 a.m. here on Monday the 5th of May. Bank holiday, Monday the 5th of May. Live and exclusive here on Pluto TV. But next up for us here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, a meeting between the two previous Women's Week champions as Kirsty Vinnikanen and Rhian O'Sullivan go head-to-head in our middle match of the group. Rhian O'Sullivan, who actually didn't defend her title, she was unable to play last time, takes on Vinnikanen looking to successfully defend. So I suppose if we were talking in boxing terms, it's the defending champion against the lineal champion, but only one can win this particular contest. And for Rhian O'Sullivan, victory here would put her on to 4 points and would put her in a very healthy position going into the second half of the night. I suppose for Kirsty Vinnikanen and Trina, after the disappointments of yesterday, losing the first one, I can imagine that she'll just want to get 2 points on the board, and she won't really care how she does so, just getting those points on the board and just trending back in the right direction again.
Yeah, exactly that. And just try and get over that line to give herself that little bit of confidence
60.
back, so that she can move forward and progress along the evening.
45.
Do you want to get your take on the international pairs which will be taking place next week here at the Live Lounge Reports? First time we've ever done it here at the Super Series, and as somebody that's represented their country on many an occasion,
85.
I can imagine it is a completely different feeling when you go from playing for yourself to then putting the shirt on for the country that you represent.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, there's nothing like it. It's something very special. And yeah, there's something about a team event, especially when you're representing your country, like you say. It's like it gives you that extra bit of something to make you want to do even better,
41.
kind of thing. So it's yeah, I'm sure that it's going to be a great week.
And does the psyche change as well? Because when you're playing on your own, you're kind of only playing for yourself. Is there almost
45.
a feeling of you don't want to let your teammate down when you're playing in that pairs environment?
Yeah, of course, you know, but you've got to remember you are a team, so you know you back each other up, and you know there's no blame thrown at each other or anything like that. That doesn't make a good team. So, you know, you're there, you have that support. You're not up there on your own,
100.
and yeah, it's a completely different game, but yeah, a very exciting one.
And also good to see some different nations in there. So of course you've got your normal powerhouses, England, Netherlands, Scotland, etc. But the likes of Gibraltar and Kenya, this is a great opportunity for them.
Yeah, to showcase and see what they can do. And, you know, pairs is very different, and, you know, it can go either way. And, you know, you only have to have that one partner that's not quite hitting it all, and
22.
And it can make all the difference.
Well, now having spoken to Craig Galliano in recent times, he is very much looking forward to this. He's looking forward to putting Gibraltar on the map, and apparently it's actually his appearance here at the Super Series, him and Justin's appearance here, have actually made column inches in the Gibraltarian newspapers.
Very interesting.
49. Rhian, you require 86.
So 86 now for Rhian. Treble 18 being the shot, finds it, double 16.
Game shot in the first
and
leg.
takes
Rhian
it with a
O'Sullivan.
second dart. Takes the first leg. And that
Second
is a
leg
break
is
and
Rhian to
throw also.
First. Game on.
Well, 4 legs played, 4 legs won. Rhian O'Sullivan hasn't dropped one so far this
100.
evening. Going about her business very nicely.
I don't know, it's a bit windy out there today, isn't it?
100.
No?
Well, both players looking to work their way towards Women's Week glory come Saturday evening.
31.
Looking to pick up the third Women's Week title. Now, This is the 4th specials week of 2025. And you've actually been in action for 3 of them, Trina. Women's Week 2, which is won by Kirsty Vinnikanen. Richie Howson picked up the League of Legends title. Andreas Harrison won Double Trouble 3, beating Neil Duff in the final.
44.
And then, of course, next week we'll have international pairs, and we'll have another Women's Week in June, and the Next Gen Week in the summertime. I believe it's in the middle of August. That's going to be very much worth a watch.
And Kirsty not finding her game at all in this match at the moment.
100.
Does find a treble there, but Rhian for 96 is still on.
35.
But she will be back.
Well, for Kirsty, there's a real fear that the problems of yesterday could severely drag over into today, and after what was a really promising start to the week, she could find herself in a position come the end of the night where she may well be staring the trapdoor in the face, potentially. 47 left. So double 16 for 2-0 not to be, but Vinnikanen's hopes in this leg perhaps ride on this 1-2-6.
Treble 19, the shot. Well, it can't be done this time. So Rhian will be coming back for that double 16.
66 left.
Well, finds the treble 10
require 32.
with the last start to leave herself on 36, but will she get the chance? Rhian, double 16, takes it with the first start, goes into a 2-0 lead.
One leg away from doubling up her tally.
It's Kirsty to throw first. Game on.
And for Kirsty Vinnikanen, the woe of Wednesday has dragged into Thursday's action. And it feels like the powers of recovery are going to be needed in the second portion of the night. And she's going to put herself in situ for Saturday once again.
$100.
For Rhian, she's averaging just under 85, but it looks as if she's hardly broken sweat in this game, such as the consistent high level she plays at.
180.
Indeed, but there's Rhian appreciating that maximum there from Kirsty Vinnikanen.
121. $59.
Well, leaves the south for finish.
$100. Kirsty 167.
6 starts on this point to get on the board and just give herself a bit of room to manoeuvre in this match. In Kirsty's best leg of the match, leaving that finish after just 9 darts to the board.
100.
Picks off the last treble perfectly to leave herself on 67. Leaves herself in a real handy suit. But talking about leaving it handy, careful
140.
of not catching Rhian, and you leave yourself tops after 12.
For 67 now for Kirsty. Double 8. And it's a must hit for Kirsty. Double 4 then. Last chance scenario maybe.
63.
Can't find it, so a chance for Rhian to take this 3-0. Top set. Takes it with the first start.
Rhian O'Sullivan.
And a superb 3-0 victory there for Rhian, not losing a leg yet tonight. Averaging 92.02. Kirsty on 77.59. 75% for Rhian. No, 3-0 victory. So coming up next, we have Laura Turner and Lorraine Winstanley.
.54, Charlie McGuire, 164. .44. .32, Charlie required 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls at this. Just needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score. Leaves himself on a 2-darter.
.26, Charlie
Time on his
required
side
60.
to become back-to-back singles champion.
.40.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts, but he'll be coming back.
It's a moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the stage,
Charlie
approaching the
required
jockey with a
20.
chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone.
Georgia
I think
require
he's gone to
180.
bust it, maybe. The first title he won, he wanted 20. He went 6-7-7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust, and
39.
on that situation there, George
require
Scaife wasn't even
9.
able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia requires
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
.59. Charlie
Threw the entire
requires
body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
Georgia require 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy.
Go
Couldn't get the job
it.
done.
Got out the match. And the Red Dragon
George
Modus
Scaife.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Scaife.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series. A midway through our night here in Group B, and before the break, Rhian O'Sullivan got the better of Kirsty Vinnikanen by 3-0. That means that she, alongside Lisa Ashton, are both on 4 points respectively in the group. This is how the table looks at the halfway stage of the night. Lorraine Winstanley with just a solitary victory to her name. Kirsty Vinnikanen and Laura Turner out of victory, although Laura's walked into a couple of hefty performances at the beginning of the night. And we're going to see Laura in action now against Lorraine Winstanley, who herself is probably scratching her head as to how she's only got one win from things so far. She was on the receiving end of a 3-2 defeat to Lisa Ashton in her previous match. And at times tonight, Lorraine has played some of the best darts that we have seen at points over the course of the week. But I suppose what she'd be looking to do is put it all together over an elongated period of time.
Yeah, that's the trick, and not always easy to do. Some days it comes easy, other days it's so frustrating. You wonder why you play the game.
It's a funny old game, isn't it, Trina?
It definitely is.
First leg is Laura to throw first. Game on.
These two met in the semi-finals of the previous Women's Week, which Laura Turner would come out on top 3-2 in, and that was where he then saw the now infamous
60.
Laura Turner dance moves on the live lounge stage. She'd like to see that bit of videotape be deleted, but don't worry, that is forever saved in case we need to show it at some point.
$43.
Lorraine just taking her time, regrouping.
23.
And that's unfortunate. Goes into the treble one with a second dart, regroup, steps back, hits the barrel with her third dart, and it bounces out.
80.
I suppose for Lorraine, the way her darts go into the board, there's no real wriggle room, is there? If a object comes close to a dart that's already in the target, then it's just going to reject the one that's trying to find its way alongside.
67.
Bit of an edgy start to this match between the two friends.
81.
How difficult is it to play somebody who's a close friend of yours? Because everybody said, yeah, but you've got to try and separate that. You've got to try and get on with it. But I can imagine it's easy for people sat in these comms boxes to say it, to then actually have to go and play it and deal with that on the stage.
Yeah, it is. And but, you know, that's probably why it's an edgy start as well, because, you know, they've got that much respect for each other, and it's just them getting everything
83.
together. And but you do have to try and put everything aside and play the board kind of thing. You know, you're not playing your best mate, you're playing the board.
81. Laura, you require 154.
Well, Turner here has got 6 darts and 154 to take out the opening leg of the contest.
$24.
Well, Laura does leave herself a finish. Lorraine looking to pile the pressure on here.
85. Laura, you require 130.
That's even Stevens. So treble 20s, the first shot. Finds it. She'll stay there. Finds it again. So double 5 for the first leg.
120.
Right on the wire.
Lorraine, you require 130.
Skim the top wire, double 5, but Lorraine Winstanley has been pretty much shown the way to this finish. Single leaves the ball, another leaves double 5. Double 5 it is.
125.
But anything
Laura,
you can do,
10.
then I can't do either.
So 1 now.
No
oh,
score.
she can't find the big number.
Lorraine, you require 5.
Opportunity here for Lorraine to break Laura's throw. Double 2. Bends the wire.
1.
She can't find it either. So another chance for
Laura, you
Laura
require 10.
to take out this double 5.
All about composure. And Laura Turner finds exactly that to take the opening leg of this contest. A little bit nervy at times.
First, game on.
But Turner up and running, and ultimately at this point of the night, and this predicament that she finds herself in terms of this group, it doesn't matter how, it's just getting that win
81.
regardless of the scenario.
Yeah, that's what she'll be thinking now, you know. Nobody wants to leave the evening without a win underneath the belt. It's hard to bring it all back then tomorrow.
60.
Gives you a big hill to climb.
Well, it's absolutely roasting on the stage this evening.
81.
So I suppose, Trina, it's very, very lucky that we're keeping really nice and cool in our air-conditioned commentary box.
Yeah, and here we are, laid back in our chairs. Oh, God.
60.
It's a glamorous life, isn't it?
It's wonderful. I've got cramp out.
$43.
You can't have an injury. You're second in the group.
I wasn't joking. I have got cramp.
26.
I think I've seen it all in this commentary box.
I'm a nice person, really.
Well, Lorraine
140.
was looking to find the game's first maximum. Just a slight ricochet between the first two. But she has left herself on a finish to level up at one apiece.
81. Lorraine, you
Laura
156.
against the throw in leg two. She hasn't really been able to make any inroads. Winstanley missed double five for the 130 in the first leg. She's going to get a dart at double 18 for the 156.
120.
Not to be this time.
Laura looking for two big trebles. Can't leave herself a finish now.
60. Lorraine, you require 36.
So double 18 for Lorraine.
Game shot
Takes
second
it
leg. Lorraine
and levels
Winstanley.
the match.
The leg is Laura to throw first. Game on.
Well, what a compare and contrast the first couple of legs were. The first one was very nervy, but Lorraine upping the quality in leg two.
100.
Finding that treble 20 yet again.
140.
Yeah, really rediscovering that power scoring is Lorraine.
100.
Well, a nice ton there as well from Laura. Keeps her in contention.
95.
Just wide with the last touch. Just presented an opportunity here for Turner, having picked off a ton with her first couple of visits.
40. $59.
Lovely first start there from Laura. Smack bang in the middle of the treble 20.
100.
Leaves herself a 161 finish.
Lorraine will know that a big score here will put serious pressure on the Turner throw.
60.
But unable to find that power treble, which would have applied surmountable pressure to this 161 finish. which won't be got on this occasion.
26. Lorraine, you require 147.
So Lorraine, for 147. Can't be done now.
59.
Yeah,
Laurie,
couldn't
you
find the
135.
147 break because she couldn't find the opening red. Turner looking at 135 to open up a 2-1 lead. Looking at 25 first, unable to get. And so Winstanley, they're just going to look at the bullseye at the back of this combination.
42. Lorraine, you require
This
88.
to move herself 2-1 in front and then have the darts in the next to get the job done.
$30. Laura, you require 93.
So a chance now for Laura. Treble 19, the shot. Right, still on. Wanted the treble 18 there for the double.
22. Lorraine, you require 58.
Can't find it, so. Laura confusing herself there. So a chance for Lorraine to take this 58 out. So hits the double 18. So 22 left.
47.
Just inside.
Laura, you require 71.
And so Turner looking at 71 to move in front, to move within a leg.
65 left. Yeah.
65 remaining, as confirmed by George Baker. And it's going to be a dart at the bullseye.
46.
Which skims into
Lorraine, you
the
require
25.
11.
And so Winstanley looking at 11. And staring at 2-4s. Looking to stare down the break.
7.
But a break chance which has come and gone. And so Turner will return
Laura,
for
you require
25 to move in one herself for the match.
Double 11.
3.
Can't find it either.
Lorraine, you require 4.
So Lorraine, another chance at double 2.
No score.
Right on the wire.
Laura, you require 22.
It was a difficult angle and she almost managed to find a way through. Turner's looking at double 11. And now desperately scrambling around. That's just about in the single free. So double 4
Game shot in the third
is
leg.
got.
Laura
And how many
Turner.
times does that happen when a player struggles just about to get the single, that the double is duly taken
Fourth
in
leg
that
is
kind of
Lorraine to throw
fashion?
First. Game on.
Or both of them having a bit of a giggle about that leg.
$100.
They both know that they can play way better than this, and hence them being amused.
135.
It's one of those contests now where both players are just looking at winning the game and just almost forgetting about it thereafter. The points are the most important thing, and points in this game mean prizes. And the prize is Saturday
66.
night here at the Live Lounge for Women's Week 3. But whose script will be written
85.
on Saturday evening? Who is going to lift the trophy? It could be a two-time champion, of course, with Kirsty Vinnikanen and Rhian O'Sullivan. But Lorraine Winstanley looking to pick up another big title. Of course, former World Masters champion.
140.
Winner on numerous occasions on the BDO WDF circuit. Women's Series champion back in 2022.
100.
Oh, pretty even this leg.
$95.
Yeah, nice turn finish left for Lorraine. So all Laura can do is try and pile the pressure on here. Needs a treble.
100.
Finds it with the
Lorraine,
last
you require
start.
100.
Floats it over the top. So Lorraine now for a ton. Can still be done. Treble 19.
$25. Laura, you require 81.
And so Laura Turner here has an opportunity to see the job off. Looking at 81 to complete a 3-1 victory. Hasn't quite been sparkling at times. But there's a match start incoming here at double 13.
68.
A match start which has been
Lorraine, you
pulled
require
inside.
75.
And so Winstanley here coming back for 75 to take us the distance in this contest.
Yes.
Top cent to level the match.
35. Laura, you require
Can't
13.
find it, so Laura has an opportunity now to take this match. So double 4 now for the match.
9.
Not to be, and
Lorraine, you
so
require
Winstanley
40.
will return looking at double top to level this contest up at 2 apiece. And to give us another last leg decider. Perfect guide. Well, she tried to get the in off, but it moved the other side.
Game
But there was
shot the
no
fourth
way
leg.
she was missing the
Winstanley.
third. And we go all the way to the 5th. Forget plead the
Fifth and
5th.
final
Who's going to
leg
be
is Laura to
pleased
throw
after the
first.
5th?
Game on. $95.
Laura just straying off a little bit into the treble 5 with her last start there.
22.
This is an opportunity now for Laura to put in a big score and try and punish that score of Lorraine's there. She finds the treble with a second. Can she find another?
100.
Not this time. Well, a few wayward darts there from Lorraine.
11.
And this, it really is a prime opportunity now for Laura to really take advantage. And she's doing so. Wow, she hits the maximum.
80.
Super pressure there from Laura Turner.
Well, there's an example of timing being used in 2 different ways. Lorraine Winstanley just coming off the gas at the worst possible time.
134.
Laura Turner
requires
applying
26.
her best stuff when it matters the most. And she's got a plethora of time from this 126 to get the job done.
Yeah, and that's why she's gone for the 20s rather than the 19s. There's no need for her
45.
to attempt the shot out.
Just do things sensibly and it should be enough to get you to the winning post. Or at least that will be the thoughts whirling through the mind of
60. Laura, you require 81.
Laura Turner at this present moment in time. So 81 then to get the job done and to get on the board. And it means that Kirsty Vinnikanen will be the only player tonight yet to have picked up a victory. Match starting coming at double 16.
49.
Not to be this time.
All Lorraine can try and do now is put in a big score. She can't leave herself
60.
a finish.
Laura,
So another opportunity for Laura to wrap up the match.
It's double 8.
Game shot.
And Laura Turner is
Turner.
eventually on the board. She gets the better of Lorraine Winstanley by 3 legs to 2. Both players know that they didn't play to their best in that particular contest, but they depart knowing that the points are in the ledger of Laura Turner. Her first points of the night. Both her and Lorraine Winstanley will look to finish on 4 in their final games of the evening. For Kirsty Vinnikanen, she's still looking to get her first win of the evening. And her task, well, an unbeaten Lisa Ashton, who tonight is seemingly playing at the peak of her powers. That's next.
Welcome back here to the Modus Super Series here in Portsmouth on Pluto TV. We move into the 7th game of this evening. You have Lisa Ashton up against Kirsty Vinnikanen. Kirsty still yet to get any points on the board. So maybe that yesterday's defeat has proven to be a bit too much for her to recover from.
She takes on Lisa Ashton, who, has to be said, so far this evening has been the player of the night. 2 games, 2 wins, 2 good performances. And of the 7 maximums that we've had tonight,
First leg is Lisa to throw first.
Lisa Ashton has been responsible for, sorry, the 8 maximums we've seen tonight. Lisa Ashton has been responsible for 5 of them.
43.
Yeah, really proving that her power scoring is a huge part of her game.
And that is what Lisa can do. And you were kind of mentioning it at the beginning of the programme
41.
tonight, that when she's at her best, she scores to such a high level that actually she can kind of afford herself a few misses at a double because she's completely outpowered the opposition just like that.
Well, there she goes again with another maximum. So, yeah, exactly that. She gives herself a little bit of time. So, yeah, it's exactly that.
$36.
Kirsty definitely not finding it tonight at all.
45.
Looking to get some points no matter how. Give herself that bit of confidence to progress further. We'll find some
95.
treble there.
And I suppose as well, because of the intricacies of Group B, you can come back from a poor start
99.
where I suppose in Group C, a difficult beginning can lead to a lot of hard work being done. But say, for example, she could turn things around and win to the last 2. She's on 4 points and is very much in the mix.
There's also that, but it's also a shorter format, so you've got lesser time to get into it. So a great score there from Kirsty. As good as a 180 there.
54. Kirsty, you got 158.
So she does leave herself a finish and a chance. Here, this 158. Finds the first treble 20. Needs another. Can't quite find it with a second. So looking to set this up
84.
with the hope that she will return.
It's going to be the 1 dart, a double 10.
70.
Not to be, and so Vinnikanen will get a look at this 74, and it may just be 1 dart at the back end of this combination.
So 20 now for tops. Top sent for the first leg of this match.
Game
and she finds it.
Kirsty Vinnikanen.
A nice leg there for Kirsty.
Second leg is Kirsty
and
to throw first.
is a break of throw.
Game on.
So that's a great start.
And I get the sense that's going to be a leg that's going to hurt Lisa Ashton because she was in full control, full command of it, unable to take the one chance she had.
55.
Double 10 to win the leg, and then Vinnikanen pops home the 74, and suddenly the Lancashire Rose
60.
is chasing.
$36.
I don't know what you think, Henry, but Kirsty seems to be stretching a little bit.
60.
Yeah, it seems to be a couple of darts that she's just pulling a little bit tonight, and we're just kind of seeing them then drift into the 5 or the 1 a little bit more than what we've seen earlier on in the week. And they're also standing up a little bit more tonight, where
59.
usually we tend to see Kirsty's darts every now and then just fall flat into the ball. They look like they're actually standing a little bit more upright as well tonight.
85.
Well, I don't think she's changed her setup at all.
$100.
Is this a max coming in?
121.
Not quite. And she doesn't leave herself a finish.
Effectively hoping that Kirsty comes up troubleless if this particular visit. But that first dart is perfect.
And that's unfortunate, just straying into that treble 5 there. Thinking about what she's got left.
135.
Plants another treble 20.
What a difference that
57. Kirsty, you require
60
116.
could make for Vinnikanen. 116 then to move 2-0 to the good and to move in a leg of her first win of the night. It would mean that everybody would have picked something up from this evening. 59 left, so the single 19 will leave her tops. Tops it is for a 2-0 lead, and the first topper of the night.
Game shot.
There it is.
Kirsty Vinnikanen.
Taken with clinical conviction from Kirsty Vinnikanen. We've been waiting for the first three-figure finish of the night, and it's been found by the Finn.
100.
You could say a sumptuous finish.
Very good, Henry.
$100.
Well, I think that finish is giving Kirsty
140.
a little bit of confidence. But Lisa hitting back there with a ton 40.
$100.
Does well to find the treble there with her last start.
60.
Well, Ashton there had the treble surrounded but couldn't find one. She's in a decent position in this leg. She has control of this leg. And realistically, only a 2 treble, probably 3 treble score here from Kirsty is going to cause real issues.
76. $100.
So 101 left after a dozen darts to get back on the board to reduce the gap back down to 2-1.
$140. Lisa require 101.
Pressures this 101. Double 16,
Game
finds
leg.
it,
Lisa Ashton.
and gets her first leg on the board in this match.
Well, like London buses, you wait all night for 1 ton plus checkout, and then all of a sudden, 2 come in as many legs.
Fourth leg is Kirsty to throw first. Game on.
It was the 116 from Vinnikanen to put herself into a 2-0 lead, and then Ashton responds with a 101 finish.
41.
Both players averaging in excess of 85. A really good contest.
95.
Kirsty has rediscovered her form, rediscovered that touch after just waning off a little bit after the troublesome end to yesterday's proceedings, which kind of dragged a little bit into tonight.
100.
But she's now beginning to come back off the canvas and beginning to ask some real questions of the 4-time world champion. But when you play a 4-time world champion, expect them to have a response to questions.
Yeah, plenty of experience here on the hockey from both of them.
68. $95.
Both veterans, really. Both played for their countries.
Two players that have represented their countries for a number of years. Real experienced veterans when it comes to the
100.
international environment. And don't forget, of course, next week, the first International Pairs Week gets underway here at the Super
100.
Series.
Well, a real chance for Lisa to level this match. That's good pressure there from
86.
Kirsty. Treble 18, double 16 is the shot. And
Game
finds
shot
it with
on
a
the
third
board
dart
there, Lisa
and does
Ashton.
indeed level this match at 2 apiece.
Well, it's been a real
Fifth and final
high-quality
leg, it's Lisa to throw
contest.
first.
And
Game
so
on.
perhaps it's fitting it gets its crescendo ending it deserves. A fifth and deciding leg.
81.
He's a bit disappointed with that last dart. That was a bit of a slip. And the hard work she did with dart 1 and dart 2 may have just been passed by if Kirsty can get onto a good start of her own.
$83.
Does find the treble 20 with the last dart. So pretty much in contention.
85.
Two treble visit here from Kirsty would help immensely. There's one of them, I think. And there's the other.
140.
Well, we spoke in the previous game about timing, and is Kirsty Vinnikanen timing this one to perfection here?
58.
Because Lisa Ashton is having an okay leg on throw, but that 140 of Vinnikanen means that she's turned it around in this decider.
Yeah, great match here from both girls.
100.
Doesn't quite leave a finish. But let's see what Lisa can do here.
60.
Well, luckily for Kirsty, Ashton couldn't quite apply the scoring pressure. So 6 darts here from 178 to complete a 3-2 victory and to get her first points on the board for the night and for the group. And to give her a crumb of comfort going into her final match against Laura Turner, which is only in a couple of games' time.
44.
She'll be playing game 9 after Lorraine Winstanley and Rhian O'Sullivan go toe-to-toe in a few moments' time. But what will the
59.
landscape
Kirsty
look
O'Connor,
like?
134.
Because Lisa Ashton, 2 games played, 2 wins to her name, could be on the chopping block for the first time on this Thursday night. Vinnikanen unable to take out the 134, but what a act of escapology it would be if Ashton could find
94.
the 158.
Lisa O'Connor, 158.
Well, it's not to be this time. So Kirsty,
60.
a chance
Kirsty
for
O'Connor,
tops.
40.
And her first win of this evening. Can she bounce it off the barrel? A deep breath. And
Game
finds
shot
it with
and
a
the
third
match, Kirsty
dart.
Vinnikanen.
Gets the points on the board. That will give us some confidence. A great game there from both girls. 86.22 from Kirsty. 84.41 for Lisa Ashton. 180 for Lisa. 101 finish for Lisa and a 116 for Kirsty. A 3-2 victory there then for Kirsty. Next game up, Lorraine Winstanley, Rhian O'Sullivan.
Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Labanowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor.
Time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Luke Littler! Welcome back to Pluto TV's continuing coverage of the Modus Super Series. Before the break, we saw a first win of the night for Kirsty Vinnikanen against Lisa Ashton by 3-2. And so the table now looks as follows. Lisa Ashton following her first defeat on 4 points. Lorraine Winstanley, we're going to see in action here against Rhian O'Sullivan on 2 points. And for Rhian on 4, she can move on to 6 points and she can put herself in a position where she can very much take command of Patinas. She finishes on 8 points overnight. Because of the fact that you'll see Lorraine, Kirsty and Laura in the positions that they're in, she'll be in a very, very handy suit because one of Laura and Kirsty would be guaranteed to be on 2 points. If she beats Lorraine here, then she'll be on 2 points for the night. And with 8 points, she'd actually have a 6 point gap from the players at the bottom end of the group with just 10 points left to play for. And because now everybody's got a win to their name in this group, Lorraine, Kirsty and Laura at the bottom, all on 2, it means the equation's simple on paper anyway. If you get to 10 points, you will be into Saturday night. It is as simple as that. But what sounds so simple on paper is very hard to execute in reality.
81. 100. Two.
Well, that's unfortunate there for Lorraine.
Thank you. Cheers.
A few loose darts and then a bounce out.
There's been one or two of them
60.
visits that have just kind of crept into Lorraine's game in the second half of the evening, where in the first she was hardly missing anything.
Yeah, and the bounce out that she's had, they've actually been off the barrel and not actually off the board. So
60.
That's mainly because of the way Lorraine's darts go into the board, because of the angle at which she throws the dart. Anything that collides with a dart before is just going to be rejected from the board. It's just going to go back out again, and there's nowhere else for it to go than on the floor.
it is quite
60.
a thick dart as well. A bulbous kind of dart. Very thick at the bottom of the barrel. So it's a big target to hit, really.
Well, Lorraine's left herself first to a finish.
41.
And she's
Lorraine
going to get 6 from this 103 to take the opening leg of the contest. Triple 17 gives herself a dart at double 60,
87.
but it's just on the inside.
She will be back. Rhian looking to pressurise this.
140. Lorraine requires 16.
And she does just that. Will she get a chance? Double 8 then for Lorraine. Double 4. Double 2, that's some way off. But she finds it
Lorraine Winstanley
with her third dart and takes the first leg.
Second leg, it's Rhian to throw first. Game on.
Well, these two doing battle here. Now, there's no points on offer for beating one another in terms of
43.
An order of merit sense. Of course, there's points in terms of the table, but there's no money that's going on to an order of merit. There's no points in terms of a collective order of merit that's in place. But these two actually could be rivals
39.
for the next few months in the race to the world match play, because Lorraine Winstanley finds herself in the 8th and final position at the moment on the order of merit.
100.
Rhian O'Sullivan finds herself in 9th. And if you look at the particular cut-off of the projections that some of the analysts have made for that particular tournament, they have Lorraine to hang on to that 8th spot. And Rhian would actually drift out to number 11 if the money that was taken off from a year ago doesn't get added on now. So these
85.
two, well, they're having their battles on the stage here, but in a couple of weekends' time when the next women's series takes place, it's going to be them two potentially jousting it out for the final spot of the match play at the Winter Gardens.
81.
Yeah, it could be very tight indeed, and whoever wins this game will probably have that in mind if they meet
100.
on the PDC event. Just have that little bit of a feather in the cap.
85.
It's just that one-upmanship, isn't it? That I've done this, now I'm now looking to get you in terms of
99.
Yeah. It's like, I beat you before, so I can do it again. And from whoever loses, it's like, I've really got to get my own back here.
And the thing is, you're not proving it for yourself. You're trying to prove it to the other person,
97.
or try and put that in the other
74.
person's psyche, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. So 74 now for Rhian. Tops.
54. Lorraine,
Can't
you
find it.
116.
So Lorraine a chance at this 116. Treble 20 is the shot. She'll stay there. Can't find the treble 20.
45.
So Rhian
You acquire 20.
coming back for double 10 to level the match. Finds it with a second dart.
Rhian O'Sullivan.
And does indeed level the match at 1 apiece.
Best of 3
Third leg, it's Lorraine to throw first.
to
Game
see
up.
who can put themselves in a decent position. The gap between the pair, depending on result, could be either 4 points or absolutely nothing.
21.
But it could be oh so tight going into tomorrow's play, depending on how the rest of the evening pans out.
100.
There is a possibility that we could see a couple of players on 6 points and then the rest down on 4 and 2, or we could see
140.
potentially Rhian O'Sullivan begin to run away with the group, but everybody else could jill to within a couple of points of one another. Whatever
100.
happens, it could be another dramatic Friday here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. And the last time you were here for Group B, we saw the Rob Collins miracle unearthed, where he lost his first
100.
6 matches of his group and then somehow managed to conjure up a way of making it through.
60.
Yeah, that's the thing with darts. Anything can happen, and it's all about timing, as you said earlier. Picking out them moments, taking your chances at the right time.
24.
Lorraine getting a bit frustrated there.
36.
As is Rhian.
So Lorraine in a very good position here to establish the lead at 2-1.
60.
Well, she leaves herself on 156.
100.
But
Lorraine, you've got
Rhian on a slightly
156.
better outshot. But a shot, 2 treble 20s. There's the first one. And that's some way off.
Yes. 68. Rhian, you acquire 105.
The rear chance, 105. 90 left.
90 left, yeah.
Double 18 then
69 scored in total.
for a 2-1 lead.
87.
And that's some way off as
Lorraine, you
well.
acquire 88.
Couldn't really scare it, and so Winstanley here looking for 88. Double 14.
$74.
Moves on the inside, much to her frustration.
Rhian, you acquire 18.
So double 9 now for Rhian.
10.
Well, leaves herself
Lorraine, you acquire
8
14.
if she returns. Double 7 for Lorraine to go into a 2-1 lead.
7.
And just the wrong side of the wire.
Rhian, you acquire 8.
And so O'Sullivan here looking at double 4. And now down for double 2. Not
4.
to be. And so Lorraine is going to
Lorraine,
get
you
another go
acquire
at this 7.
Double 2 then.
$5.
Can't find it. And the frustration creeping
Rhian,
in.
you acquire 4.
Well, a real gilt-edged chance there for Lorraine Winstanley, and that is why she's showing that
No
frustration.
score.
But Rhian O'Sullivan passing the
Lorraine, you acquire
parcel
2.
And so the Madhouse.
Just taking her time. Regrouping.
No score. Rhian, you require 4.
Right, it's a key leg, but at the same time, a very nervy leg.
Game
But
shot at
O'Sullivan,
Rhian O'Sullivan.
well, puts her arm up by way of apology. I think there was almost a feeling of embarrassment as to
Full
winning the
leg,
leg
it's Rhian
because
to
of the
throw
amount of
first.
missed doubles. But O'Sullivan will be, well, more relieved
Game
than
up.
anything else that she was able to get it in her leisure to move 2-1 up and to within a leg of the match.
Situations like that, as a player, you're
100.
kind of like thinking, for God's sake, will you just get it and move on to the next leg? Obviously, if it's a match start, you'll scrap all the way, but, you know.
140.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to be put out of your misery in those particular spots.
Yes, indeed.
100.
Although something clogged my mind as I was brushing my teeth this morning.
Okay.
74.
Now, Lorraine's playing here, and you're sat here in the commentary box, and I don't know why my brain went into this mode, but actually, you and Lorraine was the
100.
first ever darts match I ever commentated on in Selsey 4 years ago.
Really? Wow. I'm honoured, I think.
So if everybody else is
41.
wondering what on earth is going on, you can blame Trina and Lorraine for it.
Thank you very much, Henry.
And the rest is history.
41.
Well, Rhian does leave herself a finish on a 160. A big score from here. From Lorraine. She finds that treble,
100.
which she does.
Rhian, you require 160.
Puts the pressure on.
So 160 for the match. Is it going to be gone on this occasion?
66.
Big farm on the last.
Lorraine,
That
you
is a
require
huge
146.
last dart to leave on a 2-darter. Winstanley 146 to save this game and to take us all the way.
$42. Rhian, you require 94.
So 94 for O'Sullivan to get her third win on the board and to move within a match of completing the card on night 1.
82.
She's going to leave herself a
Lorraine, you
double
require
6
104.
if Winstanley cannot find a match-saving 104. He'll find the treble there to leave herself double 60, just wide into the 4. And so O'Sullivan just waiting around in the background, not looking at the board,
64.
staring intently at her
Rhian, you require
flight.
12.
And she'll be hoping to take flight and take the points in this fixture. Double 6 and now double 3 for win number 3.
Game shot.
And
the
Rhian
match,
O'Sullivan, the Women's Week 1 champion, is going about her business beautifully. 3 games played, 3 wins for her. And she is within a match, a victory of completing the card and putting her pretty much on the cut of qualification to Saturday night's final. She gets the better of Lorraine Winstanley, whose night's going to end with just the solitary victory in her opening match of the night. Coming up after the break, we're going to see Kirsty Vinnikanen against Laura Turner. The winner of that one will move on to 4 points and leave themselves in decent situ going into Friday's proceedings.
$54. Charlie McGuire, 164. $44. 32. Charlie require 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls at this. Just needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score. Leaves himself on a 2-darter.
$26. Charlie
Time on his
require
side
60.
to become back-to-back singles champion.
$40.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts. But he'll be coming back.
It's a moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the stage,
Charlie
approaching the
required
jockey with a
20.
chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone.
Georgia
I think
require
he's gone to
180.
bust it, maybe. The first title he won, he wanted 20. He went 6-7-7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust, and
39.
on that situation there, George Scaife wasn't even able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia requires
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
$59. Charlie
Threw the entire
require
body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
Georgia require 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy.
Go
Couldn't get the job
it.
done.
Got in the match. And the Red Dragon
George
Modus
Scaife.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Scaife.
Well, welcome back here to the Modus Super Series here on Pluto TV. As we move into this game here, it's Kirsty Vinnikanen against Laura Turner. We're a player short.
Yeah, Kirsty Vinnikanen is a solemn figure on the stage. Maybe Laura Turner is awaiting the arrival, but the walk-ons don't happen until Saturday night here. Either that or Laura Turner's turned into some kind of darting ghost. Well, the stage is all yours, Kirsty.
She'll be enjoying the practice up there.
Well, put it this way, she's not going to be going into this one cold, is Kirsty Vinnikanen. Mind you, I don't think anybody could go into it cold when you consider the swelteringly hot conditions on the stage. 22 degrees was the top temperature at the height of the day here on the south coast, and Laura Turner has arrived, everybody, and is about to throw her, well, one of a couple of visits worth of practice darts before we get this one underway. Well, there'll be one more set of practice throws each before we get this one underway. Game number 9 of the night. Game 8 saw Rhian O'Sullivan get the better of Lorraine Winstanley by 3-1. And for the winner of this one, they'll move on to 4 points going into Friday's worth of action here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. And I get the sense that Laura will be the happier player to finish on 4 than perhaps Kirsty would, because Kirsty would have perhaps expected a lot out of tonight.
However, saying that, she won't want to finish bottom of the table either, so
125.
So a good result here will be welcomed by each player, wouldn't it?
$101.
Well, neither player hoping that the tiredness hits them late into the night tonight. Laura opened up the show with a 3-1 defeat to Lisa Ashton. She'll be completing the night. Both players will complete their night here. Rhian O'Sullivan takes on Lisa Ashton in the final game of the night after this one. And then we'll be back underway bright and early. Well, not bright and early, but after a bit of a lay-in.
83.
Please.
Trina was just beginning to panic for a second. At 1 o'clock, we're going to get underway with Group C in the afternoon. And then 10 o'clock tomorrow night to see Group B
36.
culminate. And then Saturday, the finals from 7:30 p.m. live and exclusive here on Pluto TV.
Stream never, pay now.
100.
Yeah, plenty of live darts. And on top of the live darts as well, plenty of other interactive content on Pluto
80.
TV. The Tungsten Talk series, a very popular edition. You've also got reruns of some of the best games that we've seen here at the Super Series. There's also going to be other added bonus features. In fact, anyone this week, I won't
41.
spoil anything for anyone,
Kirsty,
but
160.
new players were getting involved in a pairs challenge.
He was indeed.
So all that to look forward to. We also have a brand new documentary series as well, featuring the ADC and the inner workings of that system. The
40.
brilliant team behind the scenes who do an excellent job. Went over to Bradmore Farmer a few weeks ago for the first round of Tour Championship action, and you get to see kind of the ins and outs of how they're getting those events on ahead of the expanded Global Championship at the end of the year.
125. Kirsty, 120.
So treble 20 now for Kirsty. If she finds it, a single 20. Well, she nearly busts it there. Manages to get away with that. Steps away from the oche, composes herself. Double top. And she finds it. That's good composure there from Kirsty Vinnikanen.
Second leg is Laura to throw
Nearly
first.
busts the
Game
score.
on.
But manages to take her chance. Goes one leg up in this match.
I think one of Kirsty Vinnikanen's best qualities, particularly when she's playing well, is his ability
60.
to take out those types of finishes. Those finishes where you just need that one triple to leave yourself a dart and a double. And more than anybody else this week, she's been able to conjure up those types of finishes.
Well, you know, she did well to compose herself as well. She very nearly bust the
100.
score. And just took that moment to reset and fire in the double top.
And inflicts
100.
Laura Turner. What could be a fatal leg loss? So the winner will move on to 4 points. The loser will be stranded on 2. Then but 3 from
60.
5 qualify out of this Group B. Rhian O'Sullivan could pretty much do the job on day 1 if she gets the better of Lisa Ashton in the final game. It would mean that she'd just need the one victory on Friday night to progress her way through to yet another final and to win a second Women's Week title. But Laura Turner here started the night with a decent performance against Lisa Ashton. The only problem was she was facing the Lancashire Rose at the peak of her powers, and she's putting in some decent stuff here against Kirsty Vinnikanen.
95.
Average in excess of 91, just underneath the 92 mark, and looking to get herself back on level terms. 6 starts on 216 to do exactly that.
$95.
Well, looking good for this leg is Laura. Needs a treble.
36. Laura
Snatches that last start. Goes the ball route.
$50.
Well, this time she's going to get a look at her two data, which she was unable to do in the opening leg. But what pressure can Vinnikanen apply? Remember, this was a repeat of the final back in January, which Vinnikanen
81. Laura
won in straight
71.
legs, 3-0. And so, over the last couple of meetings, Vinnikanen is actually 4-0 against Laura Turner. But get one back in their personal head-to-head and to get back level in this particular match, double top has not come to her aid.
So a chance out for Kirsty. Finds that trebles 19. 72 remaining. Options here.
And so, double six doesn't go on this particular occasion.
Laura, you acquire 40.
It was almost a pause for dramatic effect there from Kirsty Vinnikanen, but Turner here comes back for tops. Now double 10. One more.
32.
Doesn't go, and so Vinnikanen here.
Kirsty, you acquired 12.
Well, it's been shown the way towards the double six from Laura.
Double six then. Finds it with a first start.
Kirsty Vinnikanen.
And goes into a 2-0 lead.
The leg is Kirsty to throw first. Game on.
And that, of course, was a break of throw.
And it's beginning to look like heavy work now for Laura Turner. Is that miss on the double 10 into the double six the beginning of the end 26. As far as the night is concerned? But that's only a 26 start on throw for Kirsty Vinnikanen, and it's an opportunity for Laura Turner to instantaneously wrestle the throw off of her if she can find something surmountable to ascertain serious pressure.
41.
Doesn't manage to find a treble.
$36. $60. $60.
Well, I was thinking that second dart was in the treble 20, but it clearly wasn't.
$85.
Yeah, it's beginning to get very scrappy towards the end of the night. I think both players know what's in play, and I think both players just trying to extract from the energy levels exactly what's left. It's
137.
coming up to 1 o'clock in the morning local time here in Portsmouth. It's a very late finish.
Yeah, tiredness sets in, and
41.
you're trying to keep your concentration and your energy level up so that you can see the rest of the night through.
100.
Vinnikanen looking to drive home the advantage into the early hours here. As for Laura Turner, it looks like a tie has just gone a little bit flat right now.
142.
6 starts for the match here for Vinnikanen from this 1-4-2 to complete a 3-0 victory.
Can't be done this time, but she will be back. If Laura can't
41.
check out on 189. All she can do is try and put the pressure on the 101 out shot.
100.
And she does so.
101.
And so this to enter a night of a couple of victories after kicking things off with 2 defeats. They say it's not where you start, it's about where you finish. But Vinnikanen isn't going to finish off the 101, and so Turner will be back for the 89 to
69.
Reduce the deficit back down to 1, but she's going to have to take it out with Vinnikanen left on a double to win it.
So 20 or the treble 20 goes into the treble 5. Always a danger if you're going for the treble 20. Sometimes you're just best going for the big number.
49. Kirsty required 32.
And so this for the match for 4 points overnight, and to reverse a couple of opening defeats with a couple of wins to end. Double 8 is fouled, and Kirsty Vinnikanen has turned her fortunes around on this opening night. After losing her first 2 fixtures, she has won her final couple of games to move on to 4 points and to leave Laura Turner with just a 1 win from her night. That's the tale of the tape. Vinnikanen runs out a 3-0 winner, but perhaps fittingly, we're going to end the night with the top 2 players in the group. Rhian O'Sullivan looking to complete the card. If Lisa Ashton can win this one, then she'll be on 6 points overnight. It's O'Sullivan, it's Ashton, it's the top 2 going head-to-head on the other side of this short break.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series here in Plymouth. Portsmouth, even. It's late. Pluto TV, you can watch this. So the final game of this evening, Rhian O'Sullivan against Lisa Ashton.
Now for Rhian O'Sullivan, an opportunity to complete the card on the opening night. 4 wins on 4, 8 points to her name. Job done. If Lisa Ashton can win this, then there's still an openness for interpretation because she will find herself on 6. Rhian would also be on 6. Kirsty Vinnikanen is going to be looking very dangerously on 4. And then you'd have Lorraine and Laura both sat at the bottom of the pile with just 2 points to their name
60.
Going into Friday's action.
$60. $140.
It's going to be a fast and furious game.
59.
Both very fast players. So it should suit each other, to be fair.
Yeah, certainly
45.
save the quickest game of the night for the final match of proceedings.
100.
O'Sullivan first to a finish, but what kind of pressure can Ashton
100.
apply? She finds a triple with the last start to leave herself on 156. O'Sullivan looking at 142. The bullseye leaves double 16. Well, that is out of the top draw from Rhian O'Sullivan. Absolutely magnificent, spectacular, sublime. You put the adjective, it will go with it.
Yes, I knew it was rather good.
45.
That's me told.
140. 100.
Well, Rhian starting off really well again in this leg.
100.
Well, she really is building up a head of steam, isn't she? Maybe she's saving her best till last. If she can win this game, then she will have the sense that she's broken the back of this group. Yes, she would be qualified, but any one win
60.
from tomorrow would be enough to see her through, because 10 points will mathematically be enough because of the situation in the group.
140.
Well, Lisa leaves herself a 158 finish, but pressure's applied.
122. Lisa, you require 158. $98. Rhian, you require 79.
So Rhian chance at this 79. 20 for tops. For a 2-0 lead.
39. Lisa, you require 60.
And so Ashton here back for 60 to level proceedings up at 1 apiece. Double top. What a guide.
40.
Could have utilised it. So
Rhian,
O'Sullivan for the break
40.
for 2-0 and then the darts to win it in the next. Looking at the target that Ashton's just missed, and there's no missing and no messing around from Rhian O'Sullivan. 2-0 up in next to no time at all. And now has the darts to win the game 3-zip. 96.97 the average, which is equivalent to the best part of 16 darts per leg.
43.
Yeah, super darts here from Rhian.
140.
Great reply there by Lisa.
90.
Sullivan here averaging 92.03, and Ashton, well, all night long is putting good numbers. In fact, her lowest average so far this evening is 83.16, and again she hit 3 maximums in, and the only reason it was that low is because she missed 10 darts and a double. But This is different levels in terms of performance here from Rhian O'Sullivan. This is the blockbuster, blistering brilliance that we know that she is capable of.
Oh, that's brilliant darts there from Lisa.
140.
Good thinking to leave herself a chance for this 170.
$98. Rhian, you require 48.
Well, this has been blisteringly good. Average right now of 101.5.
Game shot.
Rhian O'Sullivan showing why she is a champion in this building. A 3-0 win against Lisa Ashton, who didn't even get given the opportunity to put her foot wrong. It kick-started with a 1-4-2 checkout, and then it finished off with a couple of brilliant legs from there. Rhian O'Sullivan, a 3-0 winner against Lisa Ashton, saving the very best until the very last. She's top of the group, having amassed 8 points from a possible 8. And she'll be chatting to myself and Trina Gulliver in the Pluto TV studio on the other side of this short break. Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Labanowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison!
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor!
Time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler!
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where Thursday night's action in Group B has come to a close, and it saw Rhian O'Sullivan win all 4 of her games. A 3-0 success against Lisa Ashton, the last of which, and the best performance of the night, an average in excess of 98. So this is how the table looks then, following the end of the first day's worth of action, and Rhian O'Sullivan sitting pretty at the top of the table. 8 points to her name, 4 clear of Kirsty Vinnikanen and Lisa Ashton in the league standings. Lorraine Winstanley and Laura Turner on 2 points, and with work to do when it comes to Friday's action. So for Rhian O'Sullivan, a perfect night here in Portsmouth, and she joins both myself and Trina Gulliver here in the studio. We have many congratulations, 4 wins from 4, and that last game, that last performance, that's the best we've seen from you here at the Live Lounge.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but I'm very happy with that.
It felt like that the first game you played well. The second couple of games you kind of had to work a little bit harder for. Did you kind of feel like you won in different ways this evening?
I think it's more to do with the rhythm. Me and Lisa are quite fast players, and I think the other ones are quite purposeful or slower. But we've played each other so many times over the years, so it's just getting over that line really and trying to be positive, whatever you do. So
you kind of complement each other's games, don't you? Because you go at a similar speed, so you know it's a rhythm that they get into and that they enjoy as well.
Yeah.
Well, one of the highlights of the night was the 1-4-2, and that was hit sweet as a nut, wasn't it?
I actually knew what I was going for, so it was a rhythm thing, and it was just, I worked it out thinking, right, if I hit this, and it went in, so happy with that.
Did that kind of set the tone for you then in that game against Lisa?
Usually, I'm second best to Lisa, I've got to be honest, and she's just a fantastic player, so I knew I had to go pretty quick with her. And being last on as well, it was quite a lot to think about, but I thought, right, just get on with it. And I'm happy, very, very, very happy with that.
So tonight, is it fair to say it's just been pure business from your perspective?
Trying to, yes, but yeah, it finally worked. Because I think I've been trying a bit too hard every time I've come here, and it hasn't quite worked. But tonight, it's clicked, so...
And of course, you're, I suppose, the lineal champion of sorts, because you won the first one, and we did see it the second one. What was your memories of picking up the title last time, back in May?
I think the overwhelming feeling that I had from that was I got away with it, really, because I was sort of just winning. But I'm a lot more happier with my performance tonight than any other time that I've come here, so...
Well, we're seeing the VT there with you beating Fallon in the final. That beaming smile on your face as you pick the trophy up. Now, Trina, you've played with Rhian, played against Rhian for a number of years, and don't worry, I'm not going to go there.
Long time.
What kind of competitor is Rhian, and what kind of legacy has she left on the women's game?
She's a class player, and you know, she's been around for a long time, and she's known as a very, very dangerous player, and nobody wants to play against her because they know that, you know, that they're going to have to play well to beat her.
In terms of tonight, what were you impressed by in terms of the way that Rhian played?
Well, the 1-4-2 out was brilliant, and just the way that she just went about her business, you know, and 3-0 wins were her, forte kind of thing tonight, and she just went about her business and got the job done.
And it has to be said, overall, it's been a real high-quality evening's worth of action, and Lisa Ashton more than played her part in that. Yeah,
she played really well tonight, and it's just unfortunate that she came up against Rhian, and Rhian performed her best game of the night.
And she set her stall out again, right from the get-go in that first game against Laura Turner. We're thinking, OK, the Lancashire Rose has turned up here. Yep,
she's played well. Yesterday she had a good day, and she's carried it on through to today as well. So, yes, she's looking good.
from her perspective, she'll be hoping that she is peaking at the right time. In terms of Kirsty Vinnikanen, she lost her first 2 games. There was a feeling of maybe what happened in Group A was maybe seeping into Group B. So what kind of character did she show towards the end of the session to get those couple of victories under her belt and to put herself in what is now second position because of her legs difference?
Oh, well, yes. She did well to dig deep and get them points there. And, she's obviously disappointed from yesterday, going out in the, not coming, taking the A slot. And it looked like it was affecting her game to start off with today. But she managed to pull that back and, get that them points underneath her belt. And, yeah.
And then towards the end of the session, you could tell that she was finding her range because of some of the finishes she was taking out, the couple of ton toppers. And at her best, that's what she's so good at, taking those mid-range finishes. Yeah, she is. And you could tell when she hit the good scores and things like that, you could see her give that. She doesn't give much away with her expressions and everything, but she got that little bit of grit in her. And she managed to get over the line. In terms of Lorraine and Laura, 2 points to their evenings. Would it feel like a tough night's work for them in the end? Yeah, I think it will. I think they'd have probably expected a little bit more of themselves, and but that's the way darts goes, and that's the way it is. And like tomorrow, it's not all over. Tomorrow can be a different day, and will be a different day, and so we never know what's going to happen. So this is how the table looks. Rhian, you're top of it with 8 points to your name. Now, mathematically, you only need 1 victory tomorrow night to guarantee your place through to the Saturday evening's final. But is it just going to be a case of just carrying on and just trying not to let any kind of complacency creep in?
Yeah, I think I've just got to have my game on tomorrow because everybody's going to be after me. So it's going to be just get on with it again tomorrow. It's a different day. And anything can happen. So and I've got so much respect for the ladies, and the quality they've got here is amazing. So I've got to pull it out again tomorrow if I've got any chance to get through. Well, let's have a little look at the tournament bracket then, because we're going to see Trina back in action tomorrow afternoon in Group C, alongside the likes of Kirsty Hutchinson, Paige Porter, Robin Byrne, Katie Sheldon, and Vicky Poom, who is top of the table with 10 points to her name overnight. And this afternoon was a really good session, and I suppose for yourself it's about trying to get the job done tomorrow. Well, yeah, it's hopefully I can continue today's, because I played okay today, and so 4 out of 5 is good, but hopefully I can keep that up tomorrow and try and be a bit better as well. In terms of yourself, Rhian, there's a big few weeks ahead of yourself. Obviously, the race for the World Match Play's drawing towards a close, and you're very much on that brink, aren't you, in terms of that? I'm going to have to play really well there, and the quality is just unreal at the moment. The ladies' game is really kicking off, I think. So we're all going to we all want it, and we all want to get better, and it's going to be hard, but try and see what happens. What kind of achievement would it be just to get into the 8 this year? Because it's felt like the most competitive year in terms of that race to get to Blackpool. Absolutely. I think the sometimes you rely on draws, and sometimes you're thinking, on other people, but it's going to have to be your own. You can only rely on yourself. But it's I think the standard is getting harder and better all the time, and it's hard to get in that top 8 now. And it's like you say with the draw as well. Yeah. It's with the women's series, there's no seeds or anything like that, so we can all draw Bo or Fallon or Lisa the first round, or yourself. And so there's no easy games at all, and the draw can play a big part. And finally, how good is it for female players to have so many opportunities playing here at the Super Series, 3 Women's Weeks in 2025? I think we're all very grateful, and we're going to try and take it with both hands and show what we can do, because I think we haven't quite peaked on that stage yet, and there's a lot more to come. I really believe that.
And on that note, I think that's a good way to sign off. Yeah, thank you so much for coming up. Many congratulations on what you've done tonight. We shall see you again tomorrow evening. Trina, thank you for your company as ever. We shall, next time we see you, you're going to be playing on that.
I am.
Throwing the pointy things.
Thank you.
Best.
Thank you so much, both of you. Plenty coming up across Pluto TV. When we return, we're going to be looking back at the previous Women's Week here at the Super Series and some of the best moments from that. That's coming up after the break. And then we're going to have the latest edition of On the Ocky, or shall we say, On the Farm with Scott Mitchell. He tells us what he likes to do day to day on the farm. We actually get to see what he does do and maybe more what he doesn't do. That's from 9 o'clock in the morning. There is a tractor warning as well. The live task gets back underway from 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Paige Paulin and Trina Gulliver, of course, are going to be in action in Group C, and it builds up to finals night on Saturday evening. Gemma Hayter already through. 5 more will join her by this time tomorrow night. But that is it from us here from the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, where, as far as tonight is concerned, it's been a perfect evening for Rhian O'Sullivan. 4 wins from 4. The former champion is in great shape. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye for now.
And Rhian O'Sullivan seals her 5 out of 5 for the day. Drowning my sorrows, turning to joy.
Joy for O'Sullivan.
That kind of gesture with the hand just makes me think she's happy with the throw. But Rhian O'Sullivan most definitely will be happy with that.
60. It is ball left. You are right, Rhian. You are so right, Rhian.
What a finish! What a man!
The drum roll finishes, and the target is
finals night, and it's a knockout.
Dirty Harry!